Welcome to the Harmony in a Hurry podcast. We are Caroline and Anna, mindfulness enthusiasts, exploring ways to weave a little bit of mindfulness into our busy routine. Our guest today is Alex Vitillo. She is a former finance professional who turned her personal tragedy into a powerful transformation. She rebuilt her life through mindfulness, energy work, and a deep understanding of how our beliefs shape our financial reality. Now she helps high achievers and entrepreneurs create wealth with purpose and ease. We hope you'll enjoy it.
Welcome, Alex, to our podcast on mindfulness, harmony, and hurry. So happy to have you here chatting with us today.
Thank you. Thank you. Very blessed to be here with you today, girls.
So if you wouldn't mind, Alex, just sharing with us what mindfulness actually means to you, just to help us get started.
What mindfulness means to me, I think if you ask me different times of the months, of the year, of the day, I will give you a different answer. So for me, mindfulness, at least at this present time, is really to be able to recognize where you're at in your life, in your day, in your thinking, body-wise. So it's really bringing that awareness to you first and foremost, and then to the external world.
And so then in saying that, do you have any regular practices that you incorporate into your day-to-day as well as your business?
Yes. So and again, I don't label it mindfulness, or I just say what makes me feel better. What are some of the things that are going to make me feel better as a human, as a business owner? And it always comes back to taking time off for you, taking time off from the external circumstances. You want to be aware of what's external and around you, but ultimately there's a lot of chaos, confusion, noises around us these days. And I think it's only going to get more and more and more. So the only moment of peace are really the one that you can stop the clock, stop your world, and start to go in within you. So again, whether you call it meditation, whether you call it stay in silence, whether you decide to go for a walk or to take a cold shower, whatever that is. So for me, it's mainly I like to be by the water. I like to stay in silence. I meditate, but it's constant throughout the day. So yes, I like to start with a meditation. I like to start maybe a walk or a swim. But then throughout the day, okay, let's stop, let's stay in silence, let's regroup, and then move to your next thing.
What are the benefits that you have found from having those practices versus running your day without having those stops and those checking in with yourself moments?
Oh, it's almost, you cannot not have this. For me, I cannot not have this. So the benefits are incredible. But if I even just don't look at the benefit and just think, okay, how was my life before? It was chaos. And when I say chaos, again, is relative, right? Maybe on the surface, everything looks normal, but inside you're overwhelmed, you're anxious, maybe you don't sleep as well. You know, there's always this, people talk about, I don't have time, I don't have time, I don't have time. That's really one of the, I think, disease of this day and age. And so already not having that is a benefit. Not having all of this chaos, being pulled right, left, and center by what's happening around you, it's already something big. And then, I sleep better, I'm happier, I'm calmer. Calmer doesn't mean being less energized. I'm very energized, very inspired. I feel creative. So there's a lot of practical benefits that you can see as well. So, and they build on each other. So it's not, oh, I've got this and now this is where I am for the rest of my life. It's always like the next layer, the next layer, the next layer. And there's always something that's going to give to you.
Mm-hmm.
So do you feel that by doing your practices each day, but then that just opens up your creative channel and your channels for abundance?
Absolutely. Because then, I have particular practices for myself that it's all about manifesting. People that not familiar with manifesting or don't like the term manifesting is what would you like to see in your life? but not so much at the bigger picture. Again, what do you want to see in my life today? And what do I want? I want a great interview. I want to feel ecstatic when I do the interview. I want to feel calm and not wondering what are my children up to. I want to feel great. I want to have plenty of time. I want to do my business, but I also want to have, my time for myself. I want to eat well. So you direct the focus where you more called to and what comes more naturally to me. So for me, I love abundance. I love a game of manifesting. Oh, let's see if this can happen for me today. And it's almost like playing with the universe and see, oh, well, what can we do today?
Well, Ali. So then what are some of the little things that you have manifested for yourself?
Oh, some of the little, and this is going to seem, like, well, not a big deal, but for me, it is a big deal. I never won anything from childhood, the lotto, the bingo, the prize draw, never, ever, ever. Since last year, it just keeps on coming. If there is a prize somewhere and I just say, and it's not all the time, but going from never, ever to, now I'm in a program and every week I've got an email saying, winner, winner, you've been selected for this. It's just things that you're not really asking for, but they seem to drop in. And I say big or small, we like them all. It just, again, it puts a smile on your face.
I've never, and just be the way your face lights up.
How did you get into this path of becoming more mindful?
How did I? It was not a conscious choice. So I didn't wake up one day thinking, oh, there's chaos in my life. What can I do? Because I think when you are in the chaos, and again, chaos is not big drama, but always running from one thing to the next, always not almost thinking about you and just a to-do list, let's say. You just live your life and you don't have a moment for yourself and you don't have even time to dream, I would say. But I didn't wake up one day thinking, oh, this is not working for me. What do I want instead? It was just that my circumstances were very, I'm going to say, unfortunate at the time. I just became a widow and it was hard. It was hard to sleep. It was hard to compute, like nothing made sense in my life at the time. But as a human, I had to function. I have 2 young kids and I had to cook. Luckily, I didn't have to work at the time. So I didn't have to worry about going to work, come back. But on the other side, when you're alone with yourself, with, I'm going to say, almost nothing to do except to look after the kids, then it leaves a big gap because all of a sudden this person that was with you every day is not there with you every day. And I just, again, I'm going to say stumbled, but it's not stumble, it's divine guidance, a meditation app. Did I know about meditation? No. I come from the corporate world. Nobody talks about meditation. I was always, I'm going to say spiritual, but just in my own way of looking at things or wanting to understand the universe, but not looking really elsewhere. And I discovered this meditation app and I started to listen to meditations. And then I started to listen to tips from people that were meditating. Then I took a course in awareness coaching that started to talk about mindfulness, Jon Kabat-Zinn, his practices. Then I went a little bit deeper. So it was all things started to happen and to come into your life. Now, I really want to say that when thing comes to your life, even though they might seem not the right thing or completely different from what you were looking for, I say pay attention. Pay attention. And sometimes, like I was tested, I'm going to say, almost by the universe, because I thought, I want to teach meditation. So when I discovered meditation, I thought, I want to teach meditation. What do I need to do? And I found school, and schools were saying, you need this, you need that. So lots of door closing, right? And I could have easily said, not for me.
Mhm.
But then I found, so all of the schools were scattered across the country. Then I found this school, this person on my doorstep. Literally, I could walk to his school. And they were offering coaching as well as meditation and mindfulness, which I was not looking for at the time. I was just looking for meditation, this tiny crescent. And I thought, oh, that's the one. But even he tested me. You don't have to come now. You're just grieving. Come in 6 months, a year, the program will still be there. And I had a voice inside of me saying, no, no, no. It's going to be tough, but I'm going to do it now. Lo and behold, I did it. And 6 months later, they moved to the house, the Isle of Wight. So for me, again, if I wanted to take that class with that person, which was perfect for me, it was not on the table anymore. So I think you have to push yourself to jump on opportunities.
So, do you have any tips on how someone who has no idea about it, but they're just getting started, how to get started? Like, is there anything that really stands out for you?
I would say be curious. You really want to be curious about what works for you and what's available. And if you set the intention just by, I like to experience more peace, for instance, start to notice what gives you peace. Connect with people that seem to have peace in their life. Go to places that give you peace. And also be willing to explore too. I'm a big believer of working with other people. So for instance, for me, I could grieve alone or I could see a counselor. I chose to see a counselor. I could do my business on my own or I could have a coach. I choose to do it with a coach. I could go to the gym and do it on my own or do it with a personal trainer. I choose to do it with a personal trainer. So the faster you want to evolve, I think the more support you need. And that support oftentimes shows up as other humans there to show you the way and guide you. And there's nothing wrong with that. In my trade of dealing a lot with teaching people how to have a healthy relationship with money, people think, oh, I need to be broke in order to work with Alex. You don't need to be broke. I work with business owners that really make a lot of money, but it's just they want a smoother experience, right? They want to be held. They want to be able to talk about their decisions with someone else. They want to go a layer deeper, a layer deeper, a layer deeper. And that never stops in whatever field of your life you choose. And also don't do all the work at the same time would be my next tip. Choose something, work on that, get to the next layer, anchor it, then, do the next layer and the next layer. Again, it doesn't need to be done all at once. And also take really joy and pride in all the levels that you achieve all the time. Yeah. Yeah.
Excellent. And your business is about abundance and breaking down blocks. And one thing that I find interesting is sometimes people think that if you're mindful and spiritual, you cannot pursue any
Abundance or
abundance. Yeah. So what are your thoughts on that?
I have lots of thoughts on that. And I want to start by saying everybody's free to choose what they want, right? So if they choose to be in a space where I need to be mindful, therefore I don't need to have desires, I don't need to aspire to anything, well, what are you really here for? Why did you choose the body experience? Because again, if you call yourself spiritual, chances are you believe in an afterlife and you believe in different layers, right? So the life, what I call 3D, which is your human dimension, but you also have a spiritual dimension. And you could choose, I'm pretty sure, as spirit before you incarnate, whether you want to incarnate or not. So you incarnate for some reason to come on the planet, which is to have a human experience, which is to experience, all of the material things that we experience, because we still have a body, we still eat food, we still drink water, we still have relationships, right? We're not completely living in our bubble. So first of all, why? And then if you come to Earth and you are spiritual, then I think the abundance is the most spiritual concept that could be. Because as a being, you're limitless. It's the body that limits you. It's not the soul. The soul is rich by definition. If you think about the universe, it's a rich thing. It's not a limited, finite thing. There are gazillion planets, star systems. We cannot even think and comprehend. So for me, the more accurate thing would be, okay, I'm mindful and I'm spiritual. How can I create abundance, but not for myself alone, right? So how could I be of service to others so that they are abundant, I am abundant, and there's no either or? It's good to do things from the heart. And again, I feel there is a principle of abundance, which is tithing. So basically, every money you make, you take 10% and you give it to a cause that matters to you. The more money you make, the more you can be impactful, and yet go and open a charity. Yeah, but again, to open a charity, you need to have something to open a charity with, right? So I remember one of my spiritual teachers saying, would you rather the money be in the hands of those that have no heart and are, just there to take advantage of the world? Or would you have the spiritual art-centered people to have money in the world? Because then they use it in a different way. And they use it for the betterment of the planet. Oh, well, when you look at things this way, right? So if feeling guilty, well, I always say people want to spend their money. It's just a fact. So if you're looking for a service and they come to you and you're really authentic and you can really help this person, but you're not so good, I'm going to use the word marketing or selling yourself, you don't get that client. But maybe that client is going to go to somebody who just wants to make a lot of money very quick and really not bother about helping people. So all of a sudden, this one person that really needed you came to you, you shut them down. And I think it's in Napoleon Hill, The Science of Getting Rich. It says, if you receive payment for 10, you have to provide value for 100. Minimum. Minimum. So again, you need to shop in a certain way and you need to deliver in a certain way. And not because your clients are demanding it, it's because that's your integrity. That's what being a heart-centered person is.
Yeah.
And so, what are the most common blocks that you see with people when it comes to their money issues in their life?
So a lot of the things that are blocking people is giving power to external circumstances. So instead of thinking, oh, maybe that's something with me that doesn't align with money, especially in the world of business, right? So if you have your own business, you want to grow your business, it means you need clients. What does it mean you need clients? You need sales. That's all you need, right? This is all you need. And people come to me and they say, oh, but this person is doing this person is doing that person doesn't understand my value, that person doesn't have the money. And so it's all about what other people are doing. And again, it's normal because we've not been told, but there is an energetics of money. There's a relationship with money, like you have a relationship with your husband. You have a relationship with money per se. You have a relationship with your potential clients. You have a relationship with sales. And so if any of those pieces, it's given to external circumstances, but you don't acknowledge that there's something you could do to shift that, either the strategy or the energetics, then they're going to be where they are for a very long time. And so when we work together, it's all about forget about what's around you, but what's inside of you. Oh, this. Oh, that. I don't want to be greedy. That's one of the major blocks for heart-centered entrepreneurs. I don't want to be greedy. I don't want to take advantage of that person. I don't want to overcharge. I don't want to, be responsible for their results. And so all those things they don't want is just creating a block and a block and a block. And clients cannot get to you, even when they want to.
Yeah.
Makes sense?
A whole lot.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And so, if anyone is new to mindfulness, like you started with meditation, is that what you would say to people that's the best place to start?
I think journaling would be another way. I know some people are really, really cold to journaling. So one of the two, because again, when you're journaling, you just have to sit in quietness with your thoughts and start to put your thoughts on paper, which then clear the mind. So that would be the other suggestion. And also start with guided meditation. You know, you don't have to just turn everything off, switch everything out. Just start with guided meditation again, if you like to dream or to imagine things. And that would be an easy way as well. And then, you know, from there you can decide to do it on your own.
Excellent. And is there anything else that you would like to share with our listeners that you feel might help them?
Again, I feel two things. If you feel called to explore, go and explore. Start asking questions. How could I do this better? And the other thing I want to say, if you start to feel that in your life, and this is on any level, you know, health, relationship, money, that you're not satisfied 100% or 90% or 80%, I think below the 70, you really got to ask yourself, okay, what can I do? And ask yourself now, as opposed to you reach the 30% of the bottom where it's like, this is really not working for me anymore. Because then you've got that anxiety and the stress and the pressure of, you know, just do the thing, one little thing each day that's going to help you be better. That would be my last advice. And I mentioned 70% because that's the most dangerous threshold, because at 70, it's very easy to do nothing. So 70 is complacency. And to me, one of the sickness of the world is complacency. You're in your comfort zone. It's everybody's fault but yours. And then what? Yeah. So people, don't be complacent.
No. Excellent. Well, thank you so much for your time and your advice and your wisdom. We really
Thank
appreciate
you.
it.
Thank you so much. Lots of love.
Yes, thank you for your time and energy. It's been lovely chatting with you today.
And that's it for us for today. As always, make sure you check the show notes where you can find more about Alex and her offerings. If you found this episode interesting, please share it around so we can reach more people and help others find mindfulness in their everyday life. Until next time, bye.